Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Is it a pleasant and wonderful morning? Okay, so I figured I would explain something about Alan Turing, The Enigma. Very good book. The book that inspired the film. About Alan Turing. You can look at it. See? Okay. So, I want to explain something to you, ladies and gentlemen, on this Uncle John show. So, as an expert when it comes to women and it comes to relationships and etc., I want to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, what to do in a situation when you are approaching a woman. Let's just say at a bar, or let's just say, you're in the city, you're in Manhattan, how do you approach a woman? First thing you do, ladies and gentlemen, is always introduce yourself. Hi, my name is John, nice to meet you. Hi, my name's Michael, nice to meet you, etc. You need to strike a good conversation. Sometimes in the subway, certain women, you gotta number one thing, you cannot be, you have to be yourself. But the number one thing, you have to communicate. In college, I was very good at speaking to professors that were male and female. I didn't have issues not talking. I had issues on communicational skills. So I had to work on it in college. So just like this ace card here, see the ace? I had to be the ace. So, I had a relative named Marcus and another relative named Jonathan when I was in college, besides Ryan and some of my friends. Besides Peter and Robert, that's down the road here. So, I'm going to explain to you some dating advice. I'm going to give you guys on the Uncle John Show dating advice. The number one thing when you're on the social media, the best thing to do is meet a woman in person. You're going to say to that woman, not the DM, you're going to say to the woman person, we're going on my name is so-and-so. Nice, she would have glasses or a necklace. Strike a comment of beauty. Oh my God, you are look, what is your eye color, you should say. Oh, that's a nice necklace. That's nice rings. Where did you get the rings? Oh, wow, what a beautiful dress. Guess you went shopping with your friends to a nice establishment. These are things you need to work on. These are just examples. These are what you call old-time ways of thinking. You need to be fast. So, on the Uncle John Show, I like to cater to children. It's good for children to understand about sexual education. It's good to understand ladies and gentlemen, there are two genders out there. There's male and female. And ladies and gentlemen, males and females are different. Their anatomy and physiology is different. And when I was in emergency medical school at Bethpage, the EMT school, or NASA University, they had an EMT school, or a NASA Community College, or St. John's University, all of those schools explain anatomy and physiology. When a man has one set of thoughts, meaning he's got one brain, he does one thing at a time. Yes, a man can multitask, but women are better at multitasking than men. Women have two sets of brains. They have an inner consciousness, and their inner consciousness can be different than a man, and their mentality is money. Everything has to, with the woman's mind, ladies and gentlemen, with the woman's mind, their mentality is money. Their mentality is money and food. That's number one thing. So, I want to explain to you a story about the MySpace matter. when back in the day. So there was a company out there, I'm going to do Google search, called MySpace. MySpace. This is before Facebook was ever invented. MySpace. MySpace. Yeah, I'll do MySpace founder. Tom Anderson was one of them. MySpace is a social networking service based in the United States, launched in August 1st, 2003. It was the first social media network that reached global audience and had a significant influence on technology, pop culture, and music. So, before MySpace, prior to MySpace, you had the AOL. You had the chat system. So how I spoke to my friends, male, female, is I would chat. I would text, This is before cell phones, everything. I'm old. I'm an old person. My father is older than me. He's surprised about this. I was teaching him things about the iPad, and he's big with OTB and the horse racing. So that's something that on the Uncle John show, I'm going to make the Uncle John show. I'm going to do a spin-off. And when I set up this business, just like the Enigma, I'm going to do a spin-off and be a wrinkle in time and torture. Good type of torture, ladies and gentlemen. Sex education, ladies and gentlemen, for kids and adults are very important. But one thing I want to say to you about this mental dysphoria or mental illness condition. I understand you men and women that want to transition. But to me, as a person that's Jewish, Christian, Muslim, etc., it goes against my faith. It's not I'm discriminating against you. It's not that I'm trying to be rude to you. But I dealt with a lot of these women and men out there that are, no offense, they're gay, they're lesbian. There's nothing wrong with you. You want to be heterosexual, you want to be homosexual. There's nothing wrong with it. Kids need to understand that. Just like anything in general, they need to understand the purpose of Christmas and the purpose of St. Nicholas and the whole 9 yards. But you need to understand everything, ladies and gentlemen. John G. out there, he believes in enterprise, in capitalism. He's not a person that likes to play foolish. So when I make these shows, when I do this stuff and I upload it on YouTube and I use my Dell computer, I'm doing stuff to educate you. It's just like that show Catfish. I found out later, I was speaking with, want to apologize to Kendall and Kylie because I didn't know your identities got stolen. Well, Kendall and Kylie, all your stuff is in police custodies. Somebody made fake IDs. Somebody made a fake ID of you and Kim and Chloe and Kendall, half a dozen people. And some of your stuff, Kendall and Kylie, it's posted on Pinterest, and I started shaking my head yesterday because one of my friends even mentioned that. So, I want to apologize to you, Kendall. I want to apologize to you, Kylie. I am very sorry. I didn't understand. I didn't know that you were abused, not by your parents, but by the school system. They were very mean to you, and because of this, I'm so sorry. I apologize to Kim because of this sex tape. It had an influence on your life, and these paparazzi people, these publicists of the paparazzi in the news, they took advantage of you and your mother, and I want to apologize. I want to apologize. This is terrible. How, an innocent person like Kim Kardashian, how innocent that she can be exploited. It's terrible. I'm just reading my books, my holy scriptures, and I want to thank the Nassau NUMC New Health for their assistance on me transitioning to a permanent person. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank NUMC for their due diligence. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have made this Uncle John show and to inspire people. I don't have a mental illness or a mental health condition. I had a neurological condition. When you fall and you hit your head and you got blood, no offense to the kids, when you hit your head, you fall, you go to a doctor. I went to a doctor. I'm on medication. I don't have anxiety. I feel better. Now you see this lamppost right here. You see this? See, there's this lamppost right here. Well, that's an inspiration of a Christmas story that I watched when I was a child. So, I want to thank you guys for a pleasant and wonderful day. You know, it's nice. I went for a workout. I'm going to go do my my core exercises. I want to thank Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate for their assistance speaking to certain people on the computer system. So thank you guys. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. Just remember, life is short. Always show respect to your parents. You know, kiss your mother, you know, hug your father and say that you love him, because you never know in this world what's going to happen. You never know that, you know, you could, in one instance, that person could disappear. She could pass away. And just like Jews and Christians, and Muslim people, we all have to work together to achieve goals. So take care, everybody. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. Thank you. And goodbye. I'll see you again on the next episode of the Uncle John Show. Thank you.